Most High God, please block anybody trying to interfere with this reading. Do step in and deliver your messages to we, your children. We thank you so very much. So, this is definitely one of the big questions. One of life's big questions. Ah! I'm in a food fight again today. Okay. Let's see. What can we find out from the cards I have? Okay, so I didn't ask to be born. It's a topic that's been on the rise. I've been seeing it for months now. I've even heard of one case where a girl sued her parents. She sued her parents because they stopped supporting her. She's an adult. I think she's... So we're gonna dive in at 1444. Huh. I know this topic needs to get dealt with. So we're gonna... Okay, calm down, Chanel. Calm down. I'm excited. I've been wanting to do this investigation for quite some time. Okay. So girl sues her parents for being born. U.S. woman claims she sued parents for giving birth without permission. We're gonna go to the news. Did that make the news?
Conceiving me, and my mother that raised me, she gave birth to me, and that's what did not consent to being here. I sued my parents for having me.
Can you see? She's very serious about it too.
I sued my parents for having me without my permission. So my parents that I sued, they contributed to, conceiving me, and my mother that raised me, she gave birth to me. And that's why I sued them, because I did not consent to being here. Like, I was unaware that I was gonna have to grow up and get a job to support myself, and I just didn't consent to that. They didn't try to contact me in any way before I was born to see if I actually wanted to be here, and that's why I sued them. Now, it's different. Like, I know I've said it's like unethical to have children before, but it's different when you adopt because it's not my fault that they're here. I'm just trying to be a good person and like help them out. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you are pregnant right now, you need to hire a psychic medium and ask your child if they actually want to be here. But keep in mind, if they don't, you need to terminate. Otherwise, they will sue you. I'm making that my life mission to teach children to sue their parents so they don't have to work. My parents did kick me out on my 18th birthday. They actually came into my room the day I turned 18, and they had keys in their hands, and they were like, "These are yours to your new place. You cannot stay here. Get out." And I just wasn't expecting that, you know. It's like, I thought I was gonna get like a happy birthday or something, but they're just like, "We've done our job. Get out." So I go to my new house, and the one they bought me was only 1,200 square foot. The house I grew up in was like 4,500, and it had a home theater, in-ground pool, tennis court. You know, it was like staying at a resort. And I just wasn't expecting that. And that's when I first started considering like suing them. And then later on, I was asking them, I was like, "Hey, look, you raised me in one lifestyle, and then all of a sudden you just kick me out. And I'm living in a 1,200 square foot home with like normal people, you know." And they were like, "You know, you got to learn some responsibility. If you want more, go get a job." And I was like, "I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to be here." And it was then that I decided, you know, they don't want to help me. I'm just going to take them to court and make them. And that's what I did. So I just wanted to give you guys an update. I did win. They're not undoing me being born. Money from my parents, essentially like an allowance every month to pay for my basic needs. So like my shelter, my food, my clothing. And then whatever I decide to work for, if I ever decide to work, which I won't, is just like extra spending money for me. But essentially, they're responsible for my life for the rest of my life because they didn't ask for my permission before they had me. So yeah. I can have another in a minute.
Okay. And that is the reason for me even being involved in this case, because it's making it to the courts of the land. This girl sued her parents for having her without her permission and won. Now the parents have to give her an allowance for the rest of her life, and she can decide not to work. So there's so much to unpack in this case. Okay. So, you know what? I'm going to refrain from the first thing that I was about to say just now, because if I say it, it could just open a whole nother can of worms that we don't need. But what I will say is this. So, how is a baby made? According to what they taught us, from the male, you get the sperm. From the female, we have the egg. When the sperm and the egg, they get mixed together, so the sperm enters the egg, and then a fetus, a body starts to develop. Okay, so that would be her body.
She gave birth to me.
So her body, let's use her as the poster child for this case. So her father's sperm and her mother's egg, the sperm went into the egg. This body, the flesh, started to grow within the mother's womb. Okay. Now, A human being is made up of not only body, but also spirit. So, the parents they had power over the body that they allowed to develop and grow within the mother's womb. However, this person that is saying these things, the spirit that is saying these things, the spirit within this body, where did that come from? And at what point did that spirit decide to get into that body that was developing inside of that woman? And also, did that spirit have a choice about entering any flesh at all? Because this spirit could have manifested inside of any fetus, inside of any woman, because spirit is neither black nor white. All spirits are the same. Spirit doesn't have a gender. Spirit doesn't have a skin color. The spirit is the word, the thought. Okay. So yes, the father and the mother had everything to do with the body that was growing inside of the woman, the little body that was growing inside the woman. But did they have anything to do with the spirit that entered that body? Did the parents give this spirit inside of this woman consent to enter the fetus that was growing inside her womb? How about that? All I had was an empty shell growing inside my womb, an empty shell of a body growing inside my womb. Spirit, where did you come from? How did you enter this body growing inside the womb? Did I give you permission? Did you seek permission from me to enter the body that is growing inside of my womb? Who is the judge that granted this woman lifelong allowance for being born, quote unquote, without permission? How much thought went into this actual case by the professional judge? I don't have a degree that qualifies me to be a judge presiding over a case, any case. All I have is common sense. She couldn't come into my courtroom with this story and we not look at it from the other perspective as well. Did this woman give you permission to enter the fetus that was growing within her? And this is why I wanted to do this reading today. I don't know what God's gonna tell us, but there's things that we need to know, basic information that we need to know when it comes to children choosing their parents, or did they choose their parents? did the parents choose them? How did that spirit link up with that fetus to be born of that woman? So we would have to take it there before we come to any conclusion about me looking after you for the rest of your life. Now I'm going to say the second part. And this is what I was going to say at first, and I know it's going to be controversial. So you didn't ask to be born, quote unquote. Okay, child? Yet you are here. You are here experiencing the gift of being in the physical realm. You're enjoying the food. You're enjoying having friends. You are enjoying shelter. You are enjoying, she had what she said, home theater and all this big life. She's enjoying all these things. You didn't ask to be here, but you didn't have a problem with being here when you were enjoying these things. It was all fine and dandy, right? Okay. So, me as your parent, at any point in time with this kind of mentality that you want to exhibit about you didn't ask to be born. So you taking up the position saying you didn't ask to be born mean that you don't mind not existing in this realm then. Is that so? So if I took my nosy self to go have a child, and somehow I unfortunately got one like you, who is adamant that I didn't ask to be here, and as a matter of fact, you need to now take care of me. If that is your position, saying you didn't ask to be born, then that means I, as the owner, the one responsible for this flesh, and apparently this spirit inside this flesh, have the right to delete you. Because I don't want the responsibility of having to take care of you. Is this where we're going with this matter? I bet you if the parent tell her, well, since that's the case, I don't want you anymore, I'm going to delete you. Do you think she will consent to her parents deleting her from this physical realm? I don't think so. Okay. So now, are we to assume that now you're consenting to be here by refusing to leave this realm? If you refuse to leave this realm, does that automatically qualify as you consenting to be in this realm? I do believe so. And if you consent to being in this realm, then you have every responsibility to look after yourself in this realm. You don't get to tell me that you didn't ask to be here and then force me to keep you here. If you didn't ask to be here, then no problem. I will send you back from whence you came. Say goodbye to your friends. Say goodbye to your boyfriend. Say goodbye to the ice cream you love. Say goodbye to the chicken and chips and the fish and the shrimp and the lobster and the steak. Say goodbye to all your expensive, beautiful shoes. Say goodbye to your expensive, beautiful dresses. Say goodbye to any siblings you have. Say good. I'm sending you back from whence you came, since you did not consent to be here. I must have the right to send your ass back. And if you decline my offer or my proposal to send you back, then that means we need to go back to court, because that means you automatically consent to being here. Now you could take care of yourself here. Am I wrong? Or am I right? You declare that you are all mine, my responsibility. And if I buy a car that I don't want anymore, I have the right to sell it or give it away or sell it to the crusher. I don't like that car anymore. Do you see what kind of complex case this is? If you don't want to be here, I'm not going to force you to be here. We can send you back from whence you came. Wherever the fuck you came from, we can send you right back there. I'm sorry for bringing you into this world. My deepest apologies. For a time, it was a pleasure knowing you and taking care of you. But now that I know you don't want to be here, you didn't want to be here, no problem. We will send you back, and I will select. I will do another, like when you have the slot machine. I don't know, making children's is kind of like the slot machine, because I have a daughter. I didn't ask for her. I asked for a child. I didn't mind getting pregnant. I was open to the idea of getting pregnant. Now, which spirit came into that fetus that was growing inside of me? I had nothing to do with that. When my daughter was born, ever since my daughter was born, I was happy with her being here, but my approach to her is like when you meet somebody for the first time. I don't know you and you don't know me. Who are you? Yes, you're my responsibility. But as a person, that spirit that dwells within that, I don't know that spirit. That spirit's likes and dislikes, that spirit's strengths and weaknesses. We need to get to know our children. We don't tell our children who to be. Our children come here being who they are. And if you're not a controlling parent, you create an environment for that child to show you who they are. Controlling parents create an environment where they try to that child into who they want that child to be. But in any case, every child come here with their own programming, because even as babies, they have moods. They can't talk, but they know they don't want to be alone. They know they don't want to lay down, so they make noise and you have to pick them up. And when you pick them up and they're close to you, now they're quiet because that's what they wanted. They have desires. They have intelligence. They came here with their own programming. And as they develop, they grow, and their programming also grows. We learn more and more as we develop. But these people who come into our fetuses, I don't know about you and your case, but I didn't ask for a specific spirit. I didn't call her by name. I didn't know who I was getting. All I know is I'm having a baby. Who lives inside this little body? I don't know. I am yet to find out. I was yet to find out. And growing never stops. So it's an it's an ongoing process of getting to know your people. People change all the time. As we experience life, we change. So this is the case we have before us today, everybody. Very interesting to say the least. So let's find out what can God, well, what does God, well, what can God tell us from what I have here and any downloads that come? Because obviously I don't have cards that can tell us about everything. And this is a big topic, so I don't know. Let's see what gets revealed to us. But yeah, shit. If you didn't ask to be here, I'm sorry I didn't want to be here. Now I know you didn't want to be here. I can send you back where you came from. I'm sorry for disturbing you. Although I didn't actually disturb you because I didn't call you either. You didn't ask to be here and I didn't call you specifically either. Somehow we got linked up and I guess it's a bad match. And why would God send somebody here who didn't want to be here? How did you get here? If you didn't want to be here, how did you get here? In my womb was an empty body just growing. You inhabited that body as though it was yours. How did you get into that body that's growing inside of me? Who are you? Make sense? So, let's see. Divine. What do you want us to know about these arrangements? Feeling two more. There's some kind of message inside of this one as well. Okay. So God has a lot to say on this one.
And that's why.
She's saying it's so proud. How much thought went into this case? Let me take a picture of these decks because I know I'm not going to finish it today. you look so coffee? Well, looks clear on the screen and then it comes out all blurry. Anywho, at least I can see what they are now. So let's dive right in, shall we? First message regarding this case. Don't have sex with them yet, all flipped over. Hang on. Let me see the rest of several cards here. Wait. We got don't have sex with them yet. Ooh, we got happy to be a slut, male or female. Okay. You want different things. Okay. A period of celibacy is time to, you know, for some DIY, take care of your own sexual needs. And then we got they're about to. So some of y'all out there thinking, God damn, I don't even want to get into this problem. So this is gonna be a great what they call it? Is it family planning reading? Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Ooh, seduction. So some of y'all are out there like, hey, please. Condom sales are about to go up. Celibacy is about to be on the rise. Why? I feel you. Like shit. I don't want no smoke. I'm cool. Shit. Like how we make babies, it look like we need to figure out how to do this thing properly to avoid this type of hiccup. My girl said I won the case. Now they have to prepare food, clothing, and shelter, all her basics, and she can work if she want to work, and she don't plan to work. The judge granted her wish. She said I don't have to work because any work I do, that money is just extra money. I get to do what I want with that money. And the parents who had her, they're forever bound to provide for her. Something wrong with that judge there. Judge, I hope you're watching this. You're an idiot. And you're wrong. Because I know you didn't consider all of the elements in this case. How did she get into the womb? Who is she? Where she come from? The egg and the sperm were always here in the physical realm. Where did the spirit that lives inside that body come from? How she get in there? What kind of judge are you? Handling matters that you know nothing about. Passing judgment on cases you know absolutely nothing about. Binding people to these contracts. Shit. If you didn't want to be here, then what should have happened in the court is you passing a judgment to give her the right to leave. Let that be controversial. You don't want to be here, no problem, leave. Bring in a new life, you want to leave, you can leave. We will help you. Send you back where you come from. And before I continue, let me just say about how they told her about now she's an adult. You just give her the keys. Well, they gave her own apartment on her birthday. I could see they made the effort, but this is another common mistake that parents make. If you know you expect certain things of your child when they become an adult, it is your responsibility to start to train them to get to know what to expect so that it doesn't come as a horrible surprise to them in the future. For example, a lot of people, they create family businesses and they expect their heir to take over the family business. But growing up as a child, they don't give the child access to experiencing what it takes, what it calls for. They allow the child to grow up 15, 16, 17, 18, and then all of a sudden they want to start to get the child involved in whatever the family business is. By that time, that child has already developed all of its own characteristics, okay? And especially if it's a boring job, they're not gonna want to get involved. But if from a youth, I'm talking about, start them off at like 3 years old, take them to work with you, let them see how you do what you do, give them a feel of what they have to deal with. As they grow up, they can develop a love for it themselves. But if you just spring it on them all of a sudden like that, it's a heavy responsibility. We need to stop that. Now this example, children, we grow up to be adults. It is our parents' responsibility to tell us way ahead of time that one day they're gonna have their own house, they're gonna have their own family, they're gonna have to pay their own bills. We need to make that a normality where when you reach adulthood and things change, it's not an ugly surprise. Because how can you grow me to depend on you all my life, and then all of a sudden I have to take on all these responsibilities? And then parents aren't honest with their child about when they don't have money, and it's just, we do parenting so wrong. So our children grow up very uninformed as to what to expect in adulthood. It's not fair to them. It's not fair. They should be given a heads up about what to expect as they grow up. It is our responsibility to let them know, not just spring it on them. A lot of children are going to school and they don't even know why they're going to school. All they know, they're going to school because their parents send them to school. They don't make it, well, mine didn't make it clear to me that you need an education because you need to be able to read, and you need to be able to write, and you need to be able to count, so that in the future, when you're taking care of your own financial responsibilities, you already have these basics. And with the other subjects, if you're interested in them and you want to take it further, then you're free to do so. Because what do you feel like you want to grow up to be? What do you love? You know what I'm saying? Education is supposed to be mainly directed towards whatever your child has ambitions to become in the future. And that's where watching your child and letting your child show you who they are comes into play. Instead of trying to make your child into who you want them to be, let the child show you what is naturally within them. What programming did they come here on the earth realm with? Because everybody came here with their own programming. That's why you got like little 3-year-olds beating the crap out of drums and sounding better than people who are 18, 19, 20, 21. It's because it is in their nature. So who were they before they came here? How come you're so good at that? You see, as humans, we pay attention to all type of things that's not important. And then the things that really make a difference in our life, we give it very little attention. We're always running from the serious topics. We're always running away from really dealing with life for what it is, instead of trying to find a way to understand life for what it is. That's very irresponsible. And that's why a lot of people, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are unhappy, because you're just doing anything any old how. Or you're following other people's stupid formula approaching life. You're following what your parents did as if that shit ever worked. You're following what your mentor told you as if the shit is working. It's not working. We need to learn to think for ourselves and decide what kind of people we want to be for ourselves. Stop just following blindly in other people's stupid footsteps, making the same damn mistakes as other people over and 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 over. That's how irritating it is. Yeah. So the personality card shows itself, and then these two other cards flipped over. It's the don't have sex with them yet card again, and remove them from your future plans. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck, because you're unsure. Yeah, man, y'all are gonna be rethinking. Yeah, a lot of people are gonna be rethinking this baby making business. I don't blame you. The girl said they should have contacted me. They should have gotten a psychic medium to contact me to ask me if I wanted to be here in the first place. That's what the girl said. Very interesting. We got, they like their sexual discipline as it is, and that fell out with the fearful card. Yeah, people are rethinking how they have sex and making babies. A period of celibacy. Yeah. 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 Oh, just having children all willy-nilly. Because y'all want a paycheck and shit. Yeah, it come with more problems than you ever bargained for. Shit. This is why I want to tackle this case now, because as this information grows, more and more children are going to start to talk like this. More and more children are going to want to take their parents to court because they want to be lazy. But let me tell you now, if I become a judge and you come into my courtroom with this fucking case, I'm going to tell you straight, since you didn't want to be here, what we're going to do is we're going to make it law so that children like you who come into my courtroom talking about you didn't ask to be here, we can easily all sign a document to send your ass back to where you come from. Because I'm not paying for you to be where you didn't ask to be all your fucking life. You're not going to come here and make these people into your slaves. If you didn't want to be here, then fine. We'll send you back. That's what you'll get if you come into my courtroom. So don't come in here thinking that you're about to get a free ride. Somebody's going to provide food, clothes, and shelter for the rest of your life while you get to just live free. No, we're not doing that. Let the newspapers talk about that. Let the newspapers talk about this rebellious judge. Yeah, I'm the rebel judge. Don't try that shit with me. If you didn't ask to be here, no fucking problem. We will send you back from wherever you come from. Send us a postcard. Nonsense. You didn't ask to be here, but you're going to come here. Well, I don't want you here anymore. I have a right to decide as your parent that I don't want you here anymore. Since you didn't ask to be here, we feel the same way. I don't want you here anymore either. And since I have responsibility for your well-being, I have the right to decide to take you or send you back. I have the right as your parent, since I'm obligated to take care of you for the rest of your life. I don't want that responsibility. So I'm gonna send your ass back from whence you came. And you, the child, won't have any say in the matter because you said you didn't want to be here. And if you make the mistake and confess that you actually don't mind being here now, then that means you are also eligible to take full responsibility for your stay here in the land of the living. Make your choice. These are your choices. Either we send you back from where you come from or you take responsibility for your upkeep. You've come to adulthood. I took care of you as a child. You're now an adult. When we become adults, this is how we do it here. We take over responsibility for ourselves. All the good and the bad things that come with being an adult, we take care of them ourselves. And we can reach out to other people for assistance, but generally and foundationally, they are our own responsibilities to take care of. That's how things work. Unless somebody decide they want to assume responsibility for you, even though you are an adult, then you're fine because you're both on the same page. So let's get the first message. Shit, they would have talked about me in the newspaper. Because, yeah, if you don't want to be here, you didn't ask to be here, no problem. Sorry for disturbing you. Then I'll take your ass to court as the parent and tell the judge, I want to send you back from whence you came. Let's see if the parents take the children to court and tell the judge, I want to send you back wherever you came from. Since you said that you didn't want to be here, I want to see what kind of judgment the honorable judge is going to pass on this case. How about that? Don't try it with me. Make the mistake and talk that shit with me. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the subject matter of this first message from God. We got you are the karma. Woo! So who is whose karma? Because you gonna take me as your parent to court telling me that I need to pay for your stay here for the rest of your life. I'm gonna take your ass to court and tell them, okay, since I'm responsible for you fully, then my responsibility is to give you the fuck back. I don't want you anymore. What can we do about that, Judge? So who is whose karma? Shit. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So I'm hearing God pairs the spirits up with who we, the parents, are. So the question is, who is this girl's parents? Because whoever her parents are, she is their karma. So it'll be interesting to find out how the two people that made this child actually think. So God pairs the spirits up perfectly with their parents. Okay. Well, okay. So what kind of child you get is determined by what you, the parent, deserve. That was easy. Now let's get the rest of the information. So God give you the spirit that you deserve. And that's why a lot of the times when people have children, the children come out to be very similar to that same person in it. So it's like when that child behaves a certain way, your parent then comes along and say, you see, that's exactly how you used to do me, kind of energy. So God selects the spirit that get paired with the parents. Okay. Woohoo! All right. So God didn't make no mistake sending this girl to whoever the parents are that she took to court. I love life. It's so fucking juicy. Woo! How can anybody hate life? Like, seriously. If you hate life, it's because you're focusing on the wrong fucking things, okay? You live a boring life. That's why you hate life. So let's see. So you are their karma. We got they are a flirt. Okay, interesting. So the energy I'm getting with they are a flirt is like, it's like playing around with XYZ. So being experimental, being inquisitive, that's what I'm getting, being experimental and inquisitive. Okay, so somebody was messing with something, thinking that it was fun, it was cute, it was adventurous. Somebody was playing. Okay, let's see. So the underlying issue, we have they prefer monogamy. Okay. And then we have controlling. So monogamy in this case is saying I'm the only one that will be in control. So that means whoever her parents are, they're like really controlling. It's like they are power hungry type of people. Let's read on. So we got when you've had enough, leave, which is what she did. Okay, now we have in a committed relationship. They appreciate you. They want to curse you. So like God said in the beginning, you are their karma. So how do the spirit inside of your child come to the body that was growing inside your womb? Whatever you put out is what you're going to get back. So whatever type of person you are, that's the type of child that you're going to get when you start getting nosy, wanting to have children. So whoever this child is, her parents are very controlling. Okay, they were flirting with control issues. Because we got in a committed relationship, they appreciate you. And that's followed right behind by they want to curse you. So it's like they made this girl's life miserable. And I guess in retaliation for how they made her life miserable and trying to control her and give her all these wonderful things and then just take it away just like that, she's like, oh, hell nah. Okay. So in this case, this girl is perfect for the parents that she got. That's what God is saying. So think what we may or like about this case. She is perfect for these parents. Those parents, they were nosy, they were overbearing, they were controlling. And this daughter that they got is the perfect spirit to come to them because she is their karma. We got sex, and then they deserve it. Then we got you need time apart, which is what she did. And then we got they are aware. And then you got they're not used to dealing with maturity. So they're not used to dealing with anybody standing up to them. So her parents ain't used to people standing up to them. And I guess it's the least likely suspect. The least expected to stand up to them and actually win. Least expect a miracle. This is crazy. So now the judge in this case, according to God, with what I'm getting here, the judge made the right decision. Because that's what they deserve. Okay. Message number 1. Why? So, Judge, I apologize for calling you stupid. Certainly, if you're intelligent, you can see how I came to that conclusion. But I guess there were other matters in the case that were not said there, because she didn't tell us anything about her parents' behavior. She just said they gave her keys and said, this is the keys to your new place on her birthday. You need to move out, they said. So based on the information that I had, based on what she said, I concluded that a lot more questions needed to be asked. Now, Judge, if you want to be all up in your feelings, thinking like you don't want to forgive me for saying you're stupid, then you really are stupid. Fuck you and your feelings. Right. Now get the fuck out of here. You were right in this case. It doesn't make what I said about the other cases any less relevant or true or accurate. So now we know that God paired children up with what their parents deserve. So look at your children or look at your neighbor's children. See how they are. God decided that's what they deserve. They got the perfect child. That child is either going to make them better or worse people. But they needed that spirit to be around them to help them to bring balance. So we can either allow the challenges that these children bring to make us better or bitter. So yeah. So I've been asking this question for like how is it decided what kind of child you get, or who you get in your womb. How is that decided? God said, you get exactly what you deserve. I, God, give you the type of child that you deserve. So what have you been putting out into this world? That's the kind of child you're gonna get. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, so I'm gonna get one more message and then we're gonna stop with this one, and then we're gonna make sure we do a part two. We need to finish this up. Let's see what else God wants us to know. So Mr. Judge or Mrs. Judge, just know that all of these cases are not the same. But I do apologize for calling you stupid. Now you need to get out of your feelings, okay? Yeah, I didn't have enough information. And that's why I guess God said, judge not. Like, fucking a meditation. So God is like, yeah, Chanel, your thinking wasn't working right just now. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. God say, yeah, Chanel, your meditation wasn't working right just now. Like, hold it down, daughter, hold it down, okay? I stand corrected. I apologize. I say, yeah, you need to clean that shit up. I had stinking thinking. Okay, maybe it's not that bad. I jumped to conclusion without all of the information. That's what I did. Yeah. I apologize for that. Because it just seemed ridiculous to me, because I'm like, what you mean? Like, they need to look after her for the rest of her life and she can work if she want to. Like, because what I did was apply her scenario to every other child's scenario. Suppose every child decided to take their parents to court. It's like, so what now? Children don't have to work anymore? Because that's what I was getting from the whole situation. It's like, what now? All the children that's coming in now don't have to work anymore. Their parents are obligated to take care of them for the rest of their life. And they just come here and do what? So, to go with this, do they need to listen to me? How much control do I have over what they can and cannot do in their life, since I have to, you know what I'm saying? A lot of questions come up. A lot of questions start flowing through my head, because it's like, that can't possibly be right. That's why I wanted to know, like, how is it decided? So it's like the children who decide to take this approach to their parents, they're either their parents' karma, or the parents will be those children's karma. So don't get it twisted, children. It works both ways. Okay? Because the parents that you're born to, they might be your karma as well. So not only do parents get the children that are their karma, the children also get parents which are their karma. It just depends on who need the lessons, who deserve the blessings. Okay? Right. Because like I said, all children come here with their own programming. They come here with their own personalities. We're not 100% responsible for who our children are. God was like, hold it down, Chanel. Hold it down. Hold it down. You're going too far. You made a wrong turn there just now. Now, tell me God doesn't guide us. If you know how to read the signs, you know when God is talking to you. God guides us every time. We just don't be paying attention. We don't be caring. Y'all saw that for yourself. I knew God was talking to me with that one because it's like, you fucked up with with your thinking, your meditation. God said, nah, girl, reel it back. You're not seeing it clearly. Because fucking is a form of sex. Sex is a form of interaction. And fucking is the lowest form of sexual interaction. Fucking is the one where there's no emotion, there's no actual connection and all of that. So that's why the fucking card came out with the meditation card. Because like I said, I was making a judgment without having all of the information. So I called the judge a stupid judge, confidently so, without having all of the information about the case. I assume my part of the responsibility in coming to that conclusion, but only a little piece of the information was put out into the public. And see, this is how we be passing incorrect judgments based on little newspaper stories or little social media clips, and it's a common mistake of ours. So yeah, we need to check ourselves. I've mostly gotten into the practice of choosing not to believe every little thing, because if you see a clip of somebody saying something, it is best to look at the full, if it's available, look at the full video. So if you get a little clip come across the screen of somebody saying something, before you make a judgment or form a conclusion on how you feel about what is being said, it's best to see the whole thing, to see the context, get all the information before you can pack. Because sometimes people take things out of context just to be clickbait, just to be controversial. Sometimes it's an honest mistake, but sometimes it's done deliberately. So before we pass judgment, it's good to get as much information as we can. And I guess after we get as much information as we can, if we can avoid passing a judgment, it's safer. It's safer. Although we do have a right to form our own opinions on matters, but if that opinion is wrong, then it's not a good look. I need to go study that some more. How's the best way to approach a situation like that? Well, I guess it was my responsibility to assume that I have all the information, because it's a very short clip. But it's like, how many people heard this story and were outraged by what they heard, but we didn't know that the girl was being maltreated. The girl was being controlled by these parents. That's vital information to have. So I think it's partly the responsibility of the people putting their information out there to, like, if you want to be viewed in the right light, it's best to give us the information that we're going to need to be able to formulate an accurate perception of what is actually going on. Don't be using social media all willy-nilly, because then people like me You don't make us think things. And we don't want to be thinking inaccurate things. Well, we can only think things based on what you chose to tell us. Like, why didn't you tell us that these people were controlling? Why didn't you tell us what you had to deal with that pushed you to this, uh to make a move like this, suing your parents? Because the report is they gave you keys to this house. To me, that sounds like a good thing. And they said if you want more, then you need to work for it. I personally wouldn't find anything wrong with that. If my parents did that to me, I wouldn't mind. Because not like say they threw me out on the street, they provided me with my own place. No, it's not like where I'm coming from, but it's like how you got what you got. You got what you got by working hard. I don't mind working hard for what I'm about to get either. So if I got somebody giving me a little head start in life, then I would be grateful. I wouldn't be the type of person to take my parents to court for doing something like that to me. I would be quite grateful, and I would try to see my way through life so that I can maintain my standard of life or create the standard of life that I want to live for myself. And if I happen to outdo you, then please don't be a hater. Okay? Because you told me to work hard for what I want, and I went out and I used my intelligence and my body and whatnot, and I worked for what I want, and now I have a lot more than you even had. Okay, so yeah, if I surpass you, don't be a hater, please. But I don't have a problem. To me, I didn't see a problem in them doing that. Some people would be happy to have their parents come to them on their 18th birthday and give them their keys and say, here, this is the keys to your own place. Now they could go chill out with their friends and basically live their life. Only thing is now they have responsibilities. You need to have a job. You need to be able to pay your rent and whatnot, whatnot, whatnot. Some people would be happy for that opportunity. Most people, when it comes time for them to go through that stage of life, they don't get keys to their own apartment. Shit. A lot of them they fall out with their parents, and that's how they even get kicked out in the first place. You know? We got so much to sort out as humans. Yeah. It's not a black and white kind of thing. There's a lot of shades of gray. Every situation is not the same. Because according to God, what she did to these parents is their karma. They deserve it. So she held back a lot of information about who these parents actually were. She actually saved their reputation. She saved their character. So the parents should be grateful for her, at least, because they know how they were to her. She knows how they were to her, but we don't know. I was gonna read this deck and just finish with this case because it's like we found out what I really really wanted to know. But I feel like the rest of y'all actually want to hear the rest of the story. So God chooses the spirit that comes with the hardware. Okay, so the subject matter of this part of the reading, we got mature. Okay. So God chooses the programming that comes with the baby's hardware. God said, this one is perfect for you. Yeah, I just heard about abortions. We're not even gonna get into all them topics, I beg. Okay, y'all know I love to chat already. I have a lot to say. I'm sure some of it you can analyze for yourself. Some of us, we are bought our blessings. Some of us, we are bought our curse. It was meant to be. If it happened, it happened. It's already happened. What can you do? All right. So the subject matter was mature. Okay, so we got consistency. Oh, we got prostitute, but it was in the reverse. Let's check it before we continue. Yeah, it's time for breakfast. Feels correct like this. Okay, it's in the right consistency. We got prostitute. And we got bad for business. Interesting. Bad for business. The underlying issue, we got chicken head. So the immaturity, chicken head. And we got tantric sex, next level access. So tantric sex would be that healing kind of sex. Healthy sex. Goddess kind of sex. Okay, so we got nature's lessons, and we got social media, pregnant, claim, and then stop, be on your own. Interesting. And we got sick, sabotage. And we got time, listen to your conscience. So I feel like this is a message to all of us who are judging this situation and misjudging this story, because I'm sure a lot of us misjudge this story. Okay, because now that we're digging in, we realize that she had every right to take her parents to court, and she deserves to win to make them look after her for the rest of her life. So congrats to you, girl. Hang on, let me dig into this, and then I'll dig into that. Okay. Yeah. Next we have admirers, and we have the homosexual card. So those who agree with her, those who agree with how she handled the situation. That's what this is talking about. Because they were unprotected in how they were treating her with that monogamy kind of energy. They were like, we are the ones in control. You don't control nothing. So, yeah, now that we know, and that was a self-taught addiction. So this is talking about how the parents used to treat this girl. Yeah. We got gold digger, be nice to yourself. So she had every right to take this approach to her parents. So let's see. So we got consistency. And then we have prostitute. Bad for business. Let me see what let's have some So then in the underlying issue, we got the grandfather energy and the guardian. So this is talking about the parents. So it's like they were gambling. They didn't know what type of child they were gonna get when they had their sex. They didn't know what type of child they were gonna get. We got thinking or meditation and fucking. So yeah, they were reckless. Okay. They were reckless. So God partnered them up with this child. And we got worldwide credit. So we need to recognize that this girl did the right thing. Okay? Romance and support system. They were her enemies. So they loved her, but they were trying to control her. So she said, okay, no problem. You're going to invest in me for the rest of my fucking life then. How about that? Okay. Let's see this prostitute card. Let's see what the message is. Because the subject matter was, I can't remember. Mature, yeah. So consistency, should I put these back? So God is saying to us that we need to understand that she was being nice to herself, okay? Because how they went about her situation, they did it so wrong. So it's their punishment. They were sick, trying to sabotage her. Yeah, we got be on, so the claim, stop and be on your own. Because the way that they were treating her, it was sick. It was sabotage. So she fought back. Okay. So let's see you. Prostitute. What the hell does that have to do with anything? A prostitute is somebody who, a prostitute is somebody who gets paid for their interaction with another. Because this is clearly not about prostitution. Because the sex card comes out in psychological readings as the interaction between two people. So the prostitute, she has sex for money. So it's like a business exchange. So in this case, we're talking about consistency with this exchange was bad for business. So it's like they were consistently giving her money, taking care of her. Okay, that was the exchange. But now they just switch up on her, and she felt like that was bad for business. Like, how the fuck you gonna just change up my situation on me like that? I used to live in a house with theater and pool and this and that, and now you want me to go live like normal people and build from there? She's like, nah. I can feel the judge. The judge is still angry at me for calling him or her stupid. I feel like it's a him. You need to get over yourself, judge, okay? I'm sure you have misjudged situations in the past as well. So if you want to be forgiven for you misjudging somebody else's situation, then you need to let this shit go. Or else the next time you misjudge somebody, how about God inflate that case to where the person just keep on feeling offended, so now you can feel how you're trying to make me feel. Have I ever told you I'm perfect? No. Have I ever told anybody I'm perfect? No. So I made a mistake. So what? I apologize several times. Get the fuck over it. Take your stinking energy away from here and get over yourself. Fuck. We are human. We can only try to be our best self. And when we fuck up, then we need to take responsibility for our fuck up. And I did. Fuck off now. Shit. Idiot. You're too happy to see me make a mistake. So you want me to just pay for that mistake forever and ever and ever? I already apologized. I already admitted to making the mistake and I already apologized. Well, you want my blunt? Shit, get over yourself. I make mistakes too. I tell y'all, even if I say something, you need to do your own research and check for yourself. You have a brain for yourself. Check everybody. Shit. We have a responsibility to make sure that any information that gets into our head is approved by us. Don't just take people's word for it. And see things differently, you are entitled to your own opinions. Don't let nobody change that if it don't make sense to you. You have a right. See, if you didn't know how to handle a matter when you know you're in the wrong, I just taught you how. You admit you made a mistake and you apologize. And if you need to do it publicly, you do it publicly. Especially if you disgraced someone publicly. You make atonement publicly. Okay? See how that works? You're welcome. Anywho, okay, so we got friends at the bottom of the deck. So we're clarifying the prostitute, because what I'm getting is exactly what I said. Like the way that the exchange was going between them, and then they just switched up on her. She was like, "Nah, you're not doing that to me." Yeah, be nice to yourself. Yeah, the way that the arrangement that she had with them up until she was 18, she was happy with that. Okay, and then they just switched it up. The consistency got dropped suddenly on her 18th birthday. She was like, "That's rude." Let's see if anything else want to come out. Yeah. So she was like, so she got be nice to yourself. Then we got listen to your conscience. So her mind, her body, her soul was saying, this ain't right. Listen to your conscience about the madam. So this is the parents, because the madam is the one that's over the prostitute. So these are the ones with the control, with the money. Listen to your conscience, madam, about the underage. So yeah, this when it was her birthday, they just decided, you know what? Here's your keys. Go live in this smaller house and experience life like regular people. And she thought that was a terrible shock. So she said, I'm taking your ass to court. You're not doing this to me. Yeah. You're not doing this to me, grandfather. You rich man. You got the money to take care of me. You started me off like this. You didn't give me the tools or the information that I needed to give me a heads up that this is how life is going to be when I become 18. You're just going to spring this shit on me? I don't think so. Grandfather, the guardian. Yeah. Don't try that. You gambled and you lost, grandfather. with your sex, okay? Your orgy when you decided to have a baby and it was me. I'm your worst nightmare. You tried it. Oh my God. So we're going to stop this one here. Very interesting story. Ooh, this would make a great movie. It's like nature taught them. This is nature's lessons, bro. Be careful what you're putting out into the world, because what you put out into the world is what you're going to get back. I keep telling us that. God keeps saying that almost every time I come on here and do a reading. That freaking energy comes out, bro. Be careful what we put out. Be careful the seeds that we plant, because we're gonna have to reap the rewards or the consequences of such seeds. Okay, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. Is it real? Yeah, it's real. It's a real story. Oh, that's why the person up there was saying that it's fake. And hello, good morning to that person that was saying good morning. So the person that said it's fake, well, clearly God has more to say about it. There's a whole story that's being told about what actually happened here. So yes, it's a real story. It's a real story. And I imagine the reason why it's not on the mainstream news media is because of how I was even seeing it in the first place. Because that would inspire other children to try and get that type of privilege, to have your food and your clothes and your shelter provided for you, and I don't have to work anywhere. I could just live off my parents because I didn't ask to be here. That would have been a catastrophe in the courts if that had been mainstream news. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people would have at least applied to try and see if they could get that type of judgment passed on their behalf as well. But yeah, so I guess that's the reason why it didn't make mainstream news like that. It wasn't really publicized like that. But it's a real story. It's a real story, and more children, I've on my social media, I've come across more and more different social media posts where children are saying these things. Okay? So this is the reason why I wanted to address this situation, because it's like, you didn't ask to be born, but I didn't ask for you either. Because like I said, the spirit and the body are two different things. I'm responsible for the body growing inside of me. I'm not responsible for what spirit comes into that body. But now God is saying God is responsible for the spirit that goes into every fetus. Okay, we get the type of children that we deserve. So our children are our karma, just as we, the parents, are their karma. So the question is, are we going to treat each other right, or are we going to make each other's life a living hell? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the people that we meet in life. Everybody that come across our life is also our karma. It's either they're here to bring us blessings or lessons. It's up to us. What energy we put out into the world will determine what we get back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a real story. It's not a fake story. It's a real story. And it's becoming a real problem. More and more children are looking at the situation of their existence from this perspective. And that's the reason why I wanted to get a jump on it, to start finding out more about it. So the next thing I want to find out when it comes to children is the children who like to say, you know, when the parents say, I cook for you, I clean for you, and all these things, and the children's response is, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Yes, it is what I'm supposed to do as your parent. Now, do you know what you are supposed to do as my child? That is going to be the next topic that I address on this child parent combination, or child parent series. I wonder if I have to put it into its own album, or into its own playlist, because I would put this one in the big questions playlist. I think I should just keep them like that. I will decide. Anywho, thank you guys so much for joining me. Until next time, my darlings, take care of yourself. So we got 1, 2, 3 more decks, and then there was some kind of message in this deck that God wanted to share. It wasn't part of the lineup, but it's like a bonus or some kind of mystery message. So I'm curious to find out exactly what else. So yeah, we're gonna definitely come back and finish off this story too, because we can learn from their case. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, until next time, my darlings, I'm gonna go let my blood flow into my booty. Okay, and I'm gonna try find some breakfast and all these things. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.